What's up, y'all? Will here at Schedule Fly, and it is always a pleasure to have Bret Oliverio on the podcast. Bret owns Sup Dogs. First location, Greenville, North Carolina. Their second one in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And now they're building a new business across the street from Sup Dogs, a distillery there in Greenville. And we get into why they're doing that. If you haven't heard the story of Sup Dogs, you don't know the story of Sup Dogs, go to schedulefly.com and click the media link, and you'll see the video there. Or go to supdogs.com, better yet, SUP, Supdogs, SUPDOGS.com, and watch the story. Incredible, incredible story. The most memorable story I've come across in 16 years of interviewing our customers through this podcast and for various forms of media for Schedule Fly. So they are one of the largest buyers of vodka in the state of North Carolina. Sup Dogs is. They have a drink they make called a Sup Crush. Vodka and fresh fruit, frozen drink. And they're now going to be distilling their own vodka instead of buying it from somebody else. And they're in the process of building this out and providing a different experience for their tribe, their fans there in Greenville. And what a cool story. And just Bret is such a humble, down-to-earth, thoughtful, authentic, intentional dude. Always, always, always love talking to him. So wonderful to have him on here again. And before we get into this conversation with Bret, we want to tell you a little bit about our partner at Schedule Fly and our sponsor, Pop Menu. Pop Menu is, well, they're a partner of Schedule Fly, and we have a lot of happy mutual customers. But Pop Menu is all about making your day easier and your sales bigger. They will simplify your marketing operations, bring in more guests, capture customer data for personalized remarketing to keep them coming back. With one super simple to use platform that integrates with most point of sales like Toast and Square and a number of others, Pop Menu starts with a beautifully designed, easy to update interactive menu that transforms the guest experience online. It includes a brand new website that's optimized for search engines like Google for no additional cost, automated digital marketing, online ordering and waitlisting, and you'll never miss another call with their AI answering solution that costs as little as 47 cents an hour. Check it out. Check out the link in our show notes. There's so much more in Pop Menu. Here's my 2 cents. I've talked to a lot of our mutual customers, and here's what they say about Pop Menu. Great company, great customer service, great product, great results. Check out Pop Menu and check out this episode of Restaurant Owners Uncorked. Thank y'all for listening. See ya. All right. What is up, everybody? For the, I don't know, fourth time, fifth time, we are fortunate to have Bret Oliverio here from Sup Dogs. Bret, what's up, man?
What's up? I'm always pumped to be on your podcast. I subscribe, and I'm a frequent listener as well, so it's pretty cool to be on here.
Well, I love the story that, for y'all that don't know the Sup Dogs story, there's plenty of podcast episodes on here, and just go to supdogs.com and click our story and watch the film with the amazing story of Sup Dogs. I love the fact that, I just think it's so cool that when you got down there and kind of got going, and I think you maybe bought the first Restaurant Owners Uncorked book, and then, got in touch, like learned from Scott Maitland or got in touch with him. And then you were in the second book, and you've been on the podcast, and now, man, you've got this incredibly successful and profitable business, man. It has been so much fun to watch this unfold over the last, 10 years or so.
I appreciate that. I mean, I credit you guys for, well, first off, I was at our Chapel Hill location 2 days ago, and this guy that works at ESPN was in there, and he came across the video that you guys did on us, and he was like, and he was a camera guy. He's a camera guy for ESPN. He does Super Bowls, every big college basketball, college football game, not World Series, everything on ABC and ESPN. And he's like, that video was so well done. It almost played out like a movie. And he was blown away by it. So, anyone that hasn't watched it, anyone that asked our story, the video you guys did sort of tells it better than I can even verbally describe it. So there's a link to it, like on the front of our Instagram and on our website, I believe. Sup Dogs, just search Sup Dogs on Instagram, and the video's right there. But so, I sort of credit that. And then, like you said, when I got in the restaurant business, I didn't know anything, like zero. And, my wife had worked in restaurants her whole life, so she definitely helped. But, everything from watching Bar Rescue to Googling, that's how I found your book. I just Googled how to be a restaurant owner. And I came across that book, and it's like, whoa, I can hear stories from like 50 successful restaurant owners. I gotta buy this. So I bought it, read it. And then of course, Schedule Fly. I also credit the actual, because when I got in this business, we were just doing Microsoft Excel, tack it to a board. Hey, he said he was switching shifts with me and he never showed up. I mean, just so, subscribing to Schedule Fly and using that service sort of legitimized our business and helped put the operations in place to give us a chance to be successful. So, I'm always appreciative of what you guys have done for us.
Dude, man, thank you. That's awesome. Well, I'm definitely going to share this clip with Luke Pearson, because as much as we're super grateful, to call that video a Schedule Fly production and made that happen. I mean, Luke did the film work. Luke made the video. Luke Pearson from Lift Films. That thing it's amazing. It's held up so well too. I mean, that's probably like 6 or 7 years old, but it's it really is awesome, and it does a great job of capturing the story, which is such a big part of what I mean. You guys are as good at it as anybody, of painting a picture and telling a story of a brand. I mean, that's what makes brands great, is the story behind them, and inviting people to welcoming them in to be a part of that story, and making them feel like they're a part of that story, and building this tribe of followers and fans. And y'all are phenomenal at it, Bret. And you've got probably more Instagram followers than any restaurant your size by a long shot. So you've really y'all are as good as I always tell people, like, that are talking about social media or building their brand or storytelling. I'm like, just go follow Sup Dogs. Like, there's nobody better. Like, seriously. I mean, I mean that.
I appreciate that, but I feel like we could always be better. I still feel like I like to do a lot of it myself. I mean, I do have staff members that are sending me content, and the staff always knows, like, anything and everything is content. But I still feel like we miss a lot of opportunities for good social media stuff. But we do our best. So I appreciate that.
Well, okay, so you guys have got Greenville, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Those are your 2 Sup Dogs locations. I know for many years now you've had people calling and ask, and you see it on Instagram. Bring one to Clemson, bring one to wherever. I mean, all these big. I mean, you won the Barstool Sports. I mean, you guys were so good at the Barstool Sports competition, they had to change the competition. So your brand is like got massive reach. Yet the reason I contacted you to do this episode is that you're opening a new concept there in Greenville, called Crush, which obviously that's another wonderful way to build on a brand, is that you've got this product called a Sup Crush. So just tell me what's going on with this.
It's sort of a cocktail bar and distillery that's centered around our signature drink at Sup Dogs, which is called a Sup Crush. Basically, it's an awesome drink that's made with that our staff, like, we fresh squeeze a full piece of fruit, whether it's orange or grapefruit or lime, cherry lime, and it's our number one seller. On a game day, we sell thousands of them, and like you said, the Barstool Sports Best College Bar in America, which is what we've won a handful of times. when you think college bar, you don't think about a bar using only fresh squeezed juice in the drinks. You think of bad cranberry and vodkas served in cheap plastic. So we that's sort of been our signature drink. And we purchased over COVID. There was an opportunity to purchase a building like 30 feet away. It was a really cool building. But at the time, the tenant stopped paying rent like so many other people did during COVID. So the building owner called me. He's like, "Hey, do you have any interest in buying this building?" And it was tough because our restaurant was closed for a while, then we were reduced capacity and, all those nightmares. But we ponied up and purchased the building. And so, I was thinking about something that, what did we want to do in the building? And we're top liquor account in the state. At one point we were like number 8 in the state in liquor sales. Number 1 was the Charlotte airport. So we're up there. And I know we sell more flavored vodka due to the sup crush drink than anybody in the state. So, in the back of my mind, I knew I always wanted to do our own vodka. Like, why are we going to sell thousands of cases of Smirnoff and Absolute and these other vodkas? Why not just make it ourselves, brand it ourselves, make sure it tastes awesome? And so the thought was, let's make our own vodka, sell it to people that enjoy our brand, people that turn 21. I always see these college kids holding up bottles of Tito's in front of the ABC store on their 21st birthday. And to me, that should be our bottle that they're holding up. So that's kind of the goal. So we're going to be, one side of the building is a distillery where we're going to be making our own vodka. Down the road, we have the opportunity to do other liquors, but some whiskeys and gin and rum. But we're going to stick to vodka, making vodka for our sup crush drink. So there'll be a base vodka and then orange, grapefruit, cherry, and vanilla. And worst case, if people hate it and nobody cares, we're at least making it for ourselves at both restaurants, and it'll be in all the ABC stores. And if people like it, hopefully it's a home run. So, and then the other side is just going to be a cocktail bar. So there's not, sort of our same energy, which is young, fun, exciting, loud, high energy, but slightly higher end piece of glassware, a couple different types of ice cubes, higher end garnishes. So it's sort of just elevating what we do at Sub Dogs in the distillery space. So that's kind of the idea behind it.
When you bought the building, and then you had to buy a bunch of distilling equipment, I assume, where did you get that?
Yeah, it's a whole process. We had to totally upfit the building, which stings a little less if you own it. I've upfitted a bunch of buildings too, a couple different times for buildings that we don't own. So it's nice to be able to spend the money on a building you own. And once again, I'm always thinking worst case scenario. So worst case scenario, I hate doing this. It's a dud. We have a fully renovated building that we could lease out. That's kind of in the back of my mind. And, I don't know anything about making liquor. So I know a little bit about making cocktails, but I'm not a mixologist. So, I'm just hiring people. I hired a distillery consultant, who's been awesome. And he's done distilleries all over the world, including in North Carolina. So he's been a huge help. And then I have an attorney who works directly with ABC. So she sort of walks me through the process there. I had to work on, getting some local ordinances updated and changed here in Greenville. So that, that was kind of a bear, but, you just sort of, when you don't know what you're doing, you kind of just, sort of like I did when I jumped in the restaurant business. I just do my research. We're lucky enough now where we can hire the right attorneys and consultants. And then, one day after another, you're sort of getting the job done, and we're getting pretty close. So the equipment is just what the consultant tells me. Hey, get this still, get these containers, get this sink. Here's where we're going to place everything. Here's how we're going to make it. I just sort of follow his lead, but at the same time, controlling costs and questioning things and sort of telling him, what our focus needs to be on. But, obviously, since he's the pro, I just sort of take his direction.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha. When are you planning on opening this place?
The plan is right now, sometime in August. So it's crazy because if you think about a distillery, it's basically going to be three businesses in one. It's going to be a liquor manufacturing and bottling facility.
Yeah.
It's going to be a cocktail bar, and then there's going to be some sort of food truck component operated by us. So there's just a lot that goes into it. I mean, coming up with a bottle and label design and making sure you're following all the rules and laws of labeling, and when you pick up a liquor bottle, how your eyes hit the logo, and is the logo going to be raised in certain spots, and there's so much that goes into it, to packaging, and I'm sort of learning about it all. I'm sure it'll be a work in progress, but the tough part is, and I tell a lot of people this, when you come into Sup Dogs, you we have our bad days, obviously, but largely 9 times out of 10, you're going to come in and be like, okay, this place knows what they're doing. They have the processes in place. Their product is consistent. They know what they're doing. With this bar and distillery, we have no idea what we're doing. But at the same time, it's affiliated with our brand. So when we open the doors, people are going to expect it to run well and operate and get the same customer service that they get at Sup Dogs. So, that's a lot of pressure. So I'm in no hurry to open it. I want to make sure, to the best of our ability, we have everything down. So when the doors open and people come in to enjoy the business, that, they're getting a good experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you. I was, I totally get why you're doing what you're doing. It makes so much sense. But it is something completely new, completely different, big, steep learning curve. I've always been waiting for you. I've always been waiting for the announcement on your website or on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, like Sup Dogs, Wilmington, coming soon or something like that.
That's possible too. I mean, we're still working on, I'm in the process right now of looking at a spot in Raleigh and, trying to negotiate certain things in a lease. And I'm always looking, but, sort of what I told, there's a really nice guy on Hillsborough Street that owns a bunch of buildings. And, I met with him the other day, and I just told him that, we are always looking to open on Hillsborough Street. I think with all the NC State students, all the ECU grads, all the UNC grads, all right there in Raleigh, I think it would be a home run. But, it's not, it's not something I need to do. It's something that I would like to do. So if the right opportunity sort of opens up where, I think we can, the building and the lease sort of knock my socks off, we're going to do it. But if it doesn't, then I'm fine with passing on it and opening a Sup Dogs in Raleigh in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I mean, it's not a matter of if, it's when we're going to do it. So, the timing has to be right and the right opportunity in building. So that's going to happen. But there is challenges to operating businesses in different cities from where you live. My house is in Greenville. So in Chapel Hill, I'm there 1 day a week, meeting with managers. And then I also try to be there on big days, home football games, big basketball game days, last day of class, Halloween, or not Halloween, but, just big days. So there's a lot of challenges that sort of arise from just not being in the city where your business is located.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll happen. It'll happen.
I got you, man. Well, you made a lot of, I'm sure a lot of people in Raleigh are excited to hear that. But I've always wondered too, Bret, you've talked about before, like, do we have, 2 of these? Do we have 5 of these? Like, do we have 200 of these? And I've heard you say that number before. I think it's in the video, the story or whatever. And I always thought, man, Sup Dogs could be in every college town in America. You can't be in every college. You can't, but a well-executed brand. And, it's just interesting, like, but I love so much. And I guess it just aligns a lot with how we kind of do things, is that you want to do things right. You want to do it the right way. You want to make sure it's executed really, really well. You're not in some big hurry to just grow. And, it's what you're doing matters so much to you. And I know it matters to your family, and it's such a personal thing. And so the way you're doing it is super admirable, man. I am so excited to hear about Crush. That place, it's going to be, so it's literally right across the street from Sup Dogs there.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at our window, I mean, you see it literally. You could throw a football and hit it. But the idea behind, the bar, the cocktail bar and the distillery, it's got to have our same vibe. Obviously we're here for the college students, but we get tons of families that are in all the time, lunch, dinner. I mean, late night gets a little crazy, everyone drinking and eating, but it can't be a bunch of old people sitting at the bar, and it can't be kids with fake IDs. It's got to be, my thought is, and the whole idea around this, one, the state during COVID changed all the distillery laws, which made it more advantageous for distilleries to open up in North Carolina. They still sort of loosened everything. So one, that made it possible. And then at the same time, and this is my theory and it could be wrong, but I just think when I was in college and you were in college, it was like, let's get as drunk as possible for as cheap as possible. And to meet a girl, I had to go up and talk to her and buy her and all our friends shots. And, they'd probably spend $80 and they probably tell us they're going to the bathroom and we never see them again. But now the game has changed. Everything's messaging on social media. And I just think senior year of college, grad students, young professionals, anywhere from 21, 22 to, 52, 62. But I'm specifically talking about that grad student, young professional, last semester of senior year of college. I think these girls, and I don't really even think about guys, because if we get girls in the business, guys will follow. But girls want, to me, girls want to put on a nice outfit, take pictures of themselves holding a nice piece of glassware with an awesome, unique ice cube with a cool garnish, sit around, chat with their friends, still get tipsy, still get drunk. But at the same time, taking their Instagram and Snapchat, flirting with some guy over social media, chatting with their friends, the days of just piling in a nasty college bar. I mean, those days are still here and they're fun, 18 to 21, but at some point, sort of as college is nearing in grad school and as you're getting your first job, you want a slightly elevated experience, but still fun, high energy. The product has to deliver. So that's kind of my theory with where, business bars and even college bars are going. I mean, those sort of rundown college bar that you think of when you were in college, I mean, those still have their place, but I just think there's an opportunity for us to meet a demand. And at the same time, complement our brand.
All right, y'all. Time for a little mid-episode break to talk about Kickfin, our mid-episode sponsor and a great business. Thousands of restaurants, bars, and breweries use Kickfin to tip out their employees instantly, no cash required. With Kickfin, tips go directly to your employer's bank of choice the second their shift ends. It's a really simple solution to a really big problem, because if you're still paying out credit card tips in cash, it's costing you. Time-consuming bank runs and cash counting take managers away from work that matters. Cash is hard to track, which leads to accounting headaches, and it creates the perfect opportunity for theft, human error, and compliance issues. Bottom line, there's never been an instant, secure way to pay out tips until Kickfin. It's an easy-to-use software that sends real-time cashless tip payouts straight to your employees' bank accounts 24/7, 365. Kickfin gives managers hours back in their day, makes reporting a breeze, and protects your business from risk. Most importantly, employees love it. Restaurants can have Kickfin up and running overnight. Employees can enroll in seconds. No hardware, no contracts, no setup fees. Visit kickfin.com for a personalized demo and see how restaurants across the country are digitizing tips with Kickfin. That's what they like me to read. I will tell you this. I know the folks at Kickfin. Check out the episode with Brian Hassan, the co-CEO of Kickfin, was on here on the podcast. Great people, love what they do. They treat their customers well. We have mutual customers that love the product and love the way they, the relationship they have with Kickfin. So check it out, link in the show notes, and let's check out the rest of this episode.
The place we went at Davidson, small cinder block, pool tables, cheap beer, and lots of cigarettes, because I'm old, right? That was the mid-90s. I can't even imagine nowadays, especially any female going in there.
It's still there. Those places are still there, except now they're
still
vaping.
there. Yeah.
Now they're vaping. So people still love those places, and they're fun to go to. Even like if I go back to visit JMU, I still want that experience.
Yeah.
But you want it a handful of times per year. But just now with Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and everything else, I just think girls that are have been enjoying drinks with their friends for a decent period of time want a certain elevated look and experience, but at the same time still having fun, still being young, still letting loose. So hopefully we'll be able to provide that experience for them.
I've been hearing more about these non-alcoholic beers, like big brands are getting into non-alcoholic beers, and they actually taste good now. Athletic Brewing is taking off. Do y'all see any of that, or is that just not? That's probably more for people that are maybe a little bit older, late 20s or 30s, and maybe they're professionals, maybe they're fit and stuff like that. But I have been surprised at how much money has been pouring into non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah, it's very trendy, and there is a lot of investment and buzz around, mocktails and non-alcoholic beer. And I think that's going to be a swing and a miss. I'm almost positive. I think where things are going is, the only thing I know about is college kids and their drinking habits. So, I'm sort of staying in my lane here. But what I think where everything is going is, like I said, when I was in college, let's have a power hour and pound a 40 and then take some kamikaze shots and, let's drink this beer for $1. I think where it's going, it's not going all the way to the end of the spectrum, which is non-alcoholic and mocktails. But I do think it's going to less binge drinking and more, I don't mind spending $8, $10, $12 for a drink as long as it's tastes good, feels and looks good in my hand.
Has Instagram worthy.
Instagram worthy, but at the same time, if you've had anyone that's been to a cocktail bar and had a high-end cocktail, those things will get you drunk. Like it's spirit forward. You're not drinking a bunch of cranberry juice. It's you have a couple high-end cocktails and you're going to be feeling it. So I think that's where it's going. Let's consume as much as we can until we black out, to, you know what, let's go out tonight. Let's have a great time. Let's get tipsy. Let's put on a nice outfit. Let's flirt with someone over social media. And, but I would be shocked if things go the non-alcoholic route. I think the idea is there. I just don't think, I think 5 years from now, we're going to be like, that never really took off like we thought it would.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. Who knows?
Well, it's not going to take off with your primary demographic. That's for sure. I think it's more like, I don't know. I mean, it can't be that big of a market. I think it's more for people that are like, people that are doing Spartan races and CrossFit and stuff like that are really into their, I think, at least that seems to be where it's making a run right now.
At Sup Dogs, we do specialty burgers, smash type Shake Shack type burgers, hot, especially hot dogs, cheese fries, beer, liquor. We've been hearing that. I've been hearing that since I got into this 12 years ago. Everyone's eating more healthy. Things are going the healthy route. Everyone wants grilled chicken. And, I think there is some of that. That's true. But, plenty of people are eating a ton and drinking a ton. And there's definitely a time and place. And sort of the best line, I went and saw the CEO of Krispy Kreme speak one time. And people were grilling him about, everyone's going health conscious. What is Krispy Kreme going to do? He was like, look, we are not here for your physical health. But I will say, I think we can help with your emotional health from time to time. You want to pop in, grab a warm donut with family and friends. Yeah. That's great for emotional health, not so much for physical health, but I support, eating clean and working out and, better physical health for everybody. I thought, that's a great line. So that's kind of what I think about anytime sort of someone asks me about that.
I love that, man. I love that. I love it. So, well, you're somebody who's always wanting to learn and grow. And I tell you, man, I had these guys on about a week ago on the podcast, Dave and Dave. They wrote this book called Hospitality DNA. And so if you have time, or when you have time, you probably don't have time these days, but it's a good episode. It's about an hour and a half long. And they went around, they basically, similar to what we did with Restaurant Owners Uncorked, where they went, but they took it to a whole new level. They spent 3 years writing this, and they spoke to restaurant owners and bar owners from literally from around the world that are at the absolute top of their game, like the lady that started Coyote Ugly, and people that have just created just monster brands. And they they kind of found what they believe are the 5 common threads across all of these folks. And that's, the helix of the hospitality DNA. But I've got this book open, and I'm like looking through thinking like, Bret, like humble nature, extraordinary culture, like you embody all this stuff, but you might really enjoy this book. I really, really liked it.
Thank you.
I took I dog-eared probably a third of the pages, and kind of geeked out over it. And but the interview would give you a good introduction to it to see if you want to pursue reading it. But it's a great book. I recommend it to anybody. I think they did a phenomenal job. They spent a lot of time and did it really well. So I got
to check that out. I don't even think of myself as like a restaurant guy. I'm not a foodie or a chef. I'm not like a good cook, but I do have a passion for operating a small business and building a culture. And, one thing that I take pride in is, especially with college girls, I think almost all of them will tell you that when they start with us and they're working at Sup Dogs for an extended period of time, they leave with more confidence than they came in with. And, during graduation, I had a parent tell me that. He said, he came up to me, he's like, I just thank you for hiring my daughter. And, she loves working here. And, I could just tell over the time she started working at Sup Dog, she became more sure of herself, had, built confidence. And I just want to thank you for that. And to me, that's cool. So where I'm not like some restaurant guy who knows a lot about food, I do enjoy building a good culture and making those connections, which is harder as you grow and expand. Like I wish I had, I know every staff member in Chapel Hill, but I wish I had, time to sit down with them and learn all about their life day in and day out. And it's just, that's hard as you grow. So it's sort of a balancing act.
Well, yeah, you're doing a phenomenal job of it, man. The culture's, culture's such a big thing. 16 years of doing this and talking to restaurant owners, that's something that has resonated with me in a big way, is that the folks that get it right and consistently get it right and get it right for long periods of time, all of them without fail have a big emphasis on culture. And people want to be there, they want to stay there, they want to be a part of it. And, everybody has their own way of executing on that culture, but man, culture is like king, queen, whatever you want to call it. It just seems to be, that's ubiquitous. I don't know anybody that's, a lot of those folks that have been in those books or whatever, and folks that like you talked to Chad Beal that time at Bohemian Bull,
he was a cool guy.
Oh, phenomenal. So good at creating a great culture. Dave Query out there at Big Red F. They're just, culture is just such a big thing. And anyway, so you're great at it. And I look through here, like indomitable spirit, check. Humble nature, check. One thing that it's interesting, because one thing these guys talk about in this book is they talk about how important it is to have a lifetime of experience before you start your own restaurant. Because a lot of people do it thinking like, oh, I'm a good chef, I'm a foodie, restaurants look cool, I could do that. And it just obviously, that blows up. And you overcame that by one of these things, which is the indomitable spirit. But like you overcame it by just going, all right, man, like I know nothing, but I'm going to sit down and just learn and learn and learn and learn and just get better every day. And that is, man, that's hard to do. Like,
yeah,
like that in the situation you came in under as well, with all the emotional toll that was there to figure all that out, man, like pretty amazing.
I would say I got lucky in the fact that I had the opportunity. My wife and I just got married, but we had no kids. So I was able to just work 15 hours a day and dedicate every second of my entire life to learning this business. So I think you can overcome some inexperience if you go that route. Now, if you have kids and you need to be at the game and you want to go on vacations, and I have neighbors that I want to do barbecues with, and, I want to go on walks at night and picnics, and I like to go to the movies, and you just have no shot. But if you're able to just sort of be incredibly laser focused, I think everybody's got a shot.
How is that working out now? You got some kids. Are you able to find, but you're still growing a lot. So I know you got to put a lot of hours in there. How are you finding good balance?
Yeah. It's, that's always the challenge. I think kids have made me a better restaurant owner because I just care less about dumb shit. So little things that like would drive me insane and haunt me for 2 and 3 days, whether it's a bad review or a issue with an employee, or, it would keep me up at night and I would be thinking about it for 3 days. And now it's like I go home and, my 6-year-old's running up to me and screaming my name, and the 1-year-old is smiling and yelling, making noises because she's excited I'm home. Like, who cares about goofy restaurant stuff when you come home to that? So that's made me a better business owner, where it's pulled me out of the restaurant a little more. Like after this interview, normally I would be in the restaurant Friday lunch, weather's nice, I want to be in there, do a presence feeler, say hi to staff, but my daughter's last day of kindergarten today. So I'm going to go with my wife to pick her up and go get some breakfast and then pop into the restaurant. So this has forced me to hire people and good people and pay them a lot and just be thankful that they will work for me and our family's business.
Love it, man. That's a good balance right there, bro. Well, I want to let you go, but I do want to, we can talk about this more offline, but I'm so focused on this whole culture thing that I decided last week I want to start doing I want to start taking restaurant groups from around the country that I know well have a great culture and highlighting that culture in some way on this podcast, probably through, having like brief episodes, talking to people that work for great organizations about why they love being there and what the culture is like for them. And, just what they've learned being there, how they've become more confident, things like that. So if you are interested and you have some folks there, like, 2 or 3 or 4 folks at Sup Dogs that may want to do that, it may give you all some good content. But if you're interested, just let me know. And,
yeah, love it. We're in. I would say, to piggyback on that's the secret sauce for independent restaurants. Like, we have the advantage where we can build a good culture and do what we want, where these chains generally lack culture. I mean, they beat us in pricing and processes. And a lot of times, the steaks at Outback taste way better than the local chains, local independent restaurants. It's just, a lot of times chain food tastes pretty good. So they might beat us in pricing and processes and sometimes food quality, because they can get things better at better prices. But where they can't touch independent restaurants is the culture. So 100%, that's the secret sauce, and highlighting that would be awesome.
Yeah, man. This is exactly, I've learned so much from folks like you that think that way. That's honestly helped us think about our business, because we can't compete on bells and whistles and integrate, like all this stuff. Like hundreds of millions of dollars invested in all that stuff, the technology, and it just keeps going. But what all those other companies in our space can't compete on are just laser focus on a simple product and just freaking incredible experience for the customer, right? Just the culture, the experience they have when they engage with us, the customer service and all that kind of stuff. I've learned, we've truly learned from, like, how do independent restaurants compete with these big, why can't we do the same thing? It's just,
totally. That's awesome.
Well, go get your daughter. I'm actually going to go. We do this. I don't know if I ever told you about this, but in the summers on Friday, we got a pool out here, and I have these guys that come over, and we take heavy kettlebells into the pool, into the deep end and across the pool, and do this pool workout where you're just like coming up and gasping for air and going.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it's freaking nuts. But I hate doing them, but then I love doing them. So, but they come over Friday and we do that. And then I cook them bison burgers, like you earn a bison burger.
Oh, cool.
You're done. So you earn your dopamine too. You get off those damn screens for a little while, and there's no screens when you're working out in the pool. So I'm going to go fire up the grill and get the pool ready.
That's awesome, man. Well, thanks again for having me on and thinking of us and me, and I'm happy to come on anytime. And, we're appreciative of what you guys continue to do. So keep putting out the great content.
Yeah, we'll do, man. And just be thinking about that. Like, if you've got a few folks, 3 or 4 folks between your 2 locations or whatever that you think are great, ambassadors of the brand and love the brand and are extroverted enough, they might want to come on and talk about their story and why they love being there and what the culture at Sup Dogs means to them. Let's do it, man. It's an important thing, and it's a series I want to get going on this podcast. I think it'll help a lot of people.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, have a good workout and have a good weekend. And, it's nice catching up.
Good catching up, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, Bret. Good seeing you.
Okay. Take care, Will.
See you.
All right, bye.
Hey, y'all, before you sign out on this episode, a couple of quick things. Number one, If you listen to us on iTunes, if you could give us a star rating and a comment, it would help so much. Same thing if you're on Spotify, follow us, or any platform that you're on. If you would just do whatever their rating or follow options are. What that does is it tells the algorithms that this content is good and meaningful and valuable, and it'll tell them to put it in front of more people. So thank you for doing that. If you take the second to do that, that'd be so awesome. And also, if your restaurant is either using Excel or you're using some software that's expensive and has a lot of bells and whistles you don't need, or maybe doesn't have great customer service, we'd love to take care of you at ScheduleFly. Simple, easy restaurant employee scheduling software, legendary customer service, 30-day free trial, schedulefly.com. My cell phone number's on the trial sign-up page. Thank you for listening. See ya.